I moved across the country for college, and my girlfriend followed me. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to post something like this, but here I am. I just moved across the country for college, and in the process, I ended my first real relationship. It feels like I ripped a piece of myself out and left it behind in my hometown. I can't tell if I'm free or if I'm just floating untethered. Maybe both. Back home in Illinois, life was predictable. My mom worked as a nurse, my dad fixed cars at his small garage, and I had the same group of friends since middle school. We'd hang out at this diner off Route 19, the kind of place where the booths were cracked vinyl and the fries were always too salty, but in the best way. It wasn't glamorous, but it was home. And then there was Rachel. Rachel and I started dating junior year of high school. She had this loud, unfiltered laugh that carried across the cafeteria, and hair that never stayed put in her messy bun. She was smart in a sharp way, always correcting teachers under her breath and doodling sarcastic comics in the margins of her notes. When we got together, it was like plugging into electricity. My whole world lit up. Everyone expected we'd stay together forever. My mom adored her, my friends teased us like we were already an old married couple. And for a while, I believed it too. But when college decisions rolled around, the cracks started forming. I got into a university in Oregon, my dream school, thousands of miles away. Rachel had her sights on a local college just an hour from home. When I opened my acceptance letter, I was buzzing with excitement. Rachel smiled, hugged me, said she was proud. But I caught the flicker in her eyes. Fear. Maybe resentment. I ignored it. All through senior year, we avoided talking about the future. Instead, we talked about prom, graduation parties, summer trips to the lake. We lived in the bubble, pretending the countdown wasn't ticking. But by July, the truth got too loud to ignore. One humid night, sitting in my car outside her house, she said it out loud, "So what happens in August?" "You just leave." "I'm not leaving you," I told her, my voice cracking. "We can try long distance. People do it." She shook her head. "People fail at it." We argued for hours, circling the same points. She said I'd meet new people, I'd change, I'd forget her. I swore up and down that wouldn't happen. She accused me of choosing my future over her. I accused her of trying to hold me back. We didn't end things then, but something shifted. The night before I left, Rachel came over. We lay on my bed in silence, her head on my chest, both of us pretending to be asleep because it was easier than saying goodbye. When she finally whispered, "I love you," I couldn't tell if it was a promise or a farewell. And then I got on a plane and flew 3 time zones away. Oregon is beautiful, don't get me wrong. The first week felt like I'd been dropped onto another planet. The air smelled like pine and rain instead of exhaust fumes. The campus was massive, sprawling with old brick buildings and hidden courtyards. People skateboarded to class, carrying coffees bigger than my head. My roommate, Diego, was this laid-back guy from California who strummed his guitar at night and offered me half his stash of Oreos the minute I moved in. He was the kind of person who made friends effortlessly. Within 2 days, he had a circle of people hanging out in our dorm room, laughing like they'd known each other forever. Meanwhile, I was glued to my phone, waiting for Rachel's texts. At first, she messaged constantly, "Miss you. Call me after class. Wish you were here." But soon the messages got shorter, more spaced out. By the second week, she stopped picking up my late-night calls. I told myself she was just busy. But then one Friday, I saw a picture on Instagram, Rachel at a football game with a group of people I didn't recognize. She was smiling, the kind of smile that used to be mine. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I shoved my phone into my drawer and followed Diego to a house party. I figured maybe if I surrounded myself with noise, I could drown out the ache in my chest. The party was chaos, music vibrating the walls, people spilling drinks on the carpet, someone attempting to rap over the speakers. I stood awkwardly near the kitchen, clutching a red cup like a lifeline. That's when I met MIA. She barreled into me while trying to dodge a guy carrying a stack of pizza boxes. Oh my god, sorry, she laughed, eyes wide. MIA was magnetic. Bright red lipstick, curly hair that framed her face like a halo, and this energy that demanded attention. She asked my name, and before I knew it, we were shouting over the music about our hometowns, our majors, and why pineapple absolutely does or does not belong on pizza. For the first time since I'd landed in Oregon, I forgot about Rachel. But then my phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from her, "We need to talk." My stomach dropped. I stepped outside into the chilly night air and called her. She answered on the first ring. Her voice was flat. "I don't think I can do this anymore." I felt like the ground disappeared under me. "Rachel, please." "You're already gone," she cut me off. "You're living this whole new life, and I'm stuck here. It's not fair to either of us." Her words hit harder than the music pounding inside. I wanted to argue, to tell her she was wrong, that I could make it work. But deep down, I knew she was right. We ended it right there, with tears on both sides of the line. I stumbled back into the party, but the room spun differently. The lights were too bright, the music too loud. MIA spotted me, concern etched on her face. "You okay?" she asked, gently touching my arm. I lied. "Yeah, I'm fine." But I wasn't. 2 weeks later, I thought I'd be doing better. Spoiler, I wasn't. My days blurred into classes, cafeteria food, half-hearted gym sessions. Nights were worse. I'd scroll through old pictures of Rachel until my chest physically hurt. Diego tried to drag me out more. MIA started texting me memes and study buddy invites, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd left half my heart in Illinois. Then one night, Diego turned to me while tuning his guitar. "Man, you can't keep living like a ghost. You're here now. Not back there." I snapped at him. "You don't get it. You don't know what it's like to leave everything behind." But he did get it, just in his own way. "I left my girlfriend in LA," he admitted quietly. "We promised to try. 2 months in, she found someone else. It sucks. It'll keep sucking. But you gotta let yourself be here." That was the first time I realized maybe I wasn't alone in this. Still, the ache lingered. And then something happened that threw me completely off balance, something I never expected. The something I never expected happened a week later in the library. I'd gone there intending to actually study, no music, no distractions, just me and a stack of psychology textbooks. But when I walked past the coffee cart tucked in the corner, I froze. Rachel was standing there. At first, I thought my brain was playing tricks on me. But no, there she was, messy bun, hoodie with our high school's mascot on the front, nervously stirring sugar into her coffee. For a split second, the world around me blurred. I must have said her name out loud because she turned, eyes widening. "Oh my God," she whispered. "You're here. What are you doing here?" I stammered. She set her cup down with shaking hands. I transferred. I couldn't stay back home anymore. It felt like everything was moving on without me. So, here I am. I didn't know whether to hug her or scream. Part of me was furious. She had broken me into pieces over the phone, told me she couldn't handle the distance, and now she was standing 5 feet away like no time had passed. Another part of me wanted to drop my books and wrap her in my arms and never let go. Instead, I just said, "Wow." We sat down at a corner table. Her voice was softer than I remembered, like she was testing the waters. "I didn't plan to tell you right away. I wanted to settle in first. But seeing you," she trailed off, biting her lip. "I don't know. It feels weird. Good weird. Scary weird." I stared at her, 1,000 questions buzzing in my head. Why now? Why here? Did she regret ending things? Did I want her back? And then, as if on cue, my phone buzzed. A text from MIA, "Study sesh tonight, smiley face." The universe has a twisted sense of timing. Rachel noticed my glance at the screen. New friends already? She asked lightly, but her eyes flickered with something. Jealousy? Fear? I shoved my phone into my pocket. Yeah. Just people from class. The silence between us was thick. The next few weeks were confusing, to say the least. Rachel and I started hanging out again. Coffee after lectures, late-night walks across campus, venting about professors. It felt both familiar and foreign, like slipping into an old jacket that doesn't fit quite right anymore. Meanwhile, MIA was still in the picture. She wasn't pushy, but she had this way of drawing me in. She'd show up outside my dorm with hot chocolate when it rained, or drag me to open MIC nights where Diego performed. She made Oregon feel less like exile and more like opportunity. One night, I found myself at a bonfire with MIA and Diego's group, laughing until my stomach hurt. My phone buzzed. Rachel again. Can you come over? Need to talk. I stared at the text for a long time. MIA noticed. You don't have to answer that right now, she said gently. But I did. I excused myself, walked half a mile across campus, and ended up sitting on Rachel's dorm floor while she cried about how lonely she felt, how she wanted us back, how maybe breaking up had been a mistake. Do you still love me? She asked, voice raw. My throat closed. Because the truth was yes. And also, no. I loved who we were, the history we shared, the comfort of knowing someone inside out, but I also loved the person I was slowly becoming here, the one who laughed at bonfires, stayed up too late with new friends, felt possibility stretching in all directions. And for the first time, I realized those two versions of me couldn't coexist. Fast forward 2 weeks. It was a rainy Sunday, the kind where the sky looks bruised and the air smells like wet earth. I asked Rachel to meet me at the same coffee cart where we'd run into each other. She arrived with hope shining in her eyes, and my chest tightened because I knew I was about to shatter it. Rachel, I started, my voice trembling, you mean so much to me. You always will. But I can't keep living in the past. I can't keep being half here and half back there. I need to move forward. Her face crumpled. So that's it? After everything? I don't want it to be lit. I want us to still care about each other. But we can't keep trying to fit into something that doesn't work anymore. For a long moment, she just stared at me. Then she nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks. I hate that you're right. We hugged, and it felt like closing a chapter one wasn't ready to finish, but had to. After that, things shifted. Rachel threw herself into her new circle of friends, and we saw each other less. It hurt, but it also felt like breathing again. MIA and I grew closer, but not in the fairy tale way I expected. It wasn't fireworks and instant love, it was quiet, steady. She'd show up with flashcards before exams, or tease me out of my moods with ridiculous impressions. It was different from Rachel, but maybe that was the point. One night, as Diego strummed his guitar and MIA leaned against my shoulder, I realized something. I wasn't the same kid who left Illinois. I wasn't the same boyfriend Rachel once knew. I was someone else now, someone who had learned that growing up sometimes means letting go. And here's the twist that still rattles me when I think about it. A month later, I got a text from my mom. Call me when you can. It's about Rachel. Heart pounding, I called immediately. My mom's voice was shaky. Honey. Rachel stopped by the garage today. She came home for the weekend. She told your dad she was really proud of you. Said she hopes you're happy. I was quiet, waiting for the other shoe to drop. She also said she's decided to transfer again. Out east this time. She wants a fresh start. I didn't know what to say. Part of me felt abandoned all over again. Another part of me felt relieved, like maybe she and I could finally stop orbiting each other, finally stop living in the shadow of what we used to be. That night, lying in bed, I whispered into the dark, "Goodbye, Rachel." And for the first time, it felt real. Now, months later, I still think about her sometimes. About the girl with the messy bun and the laugh that carried across the cafeteria. About the boy I used to be when I loved her. But then I look around, at Diego jamming in the corner, at MIA stealing my hoodie because she's always cold, at the Oregon rain sliding down my dorm window, and I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Leaving Rachel, leaving Illinois, even leaving who I used to be, it broke me. But sometimes you have to break before you can rebuild. And the shocking truth I never thought I'd admit? I don't regret any of it,